Hey guys, what's going on? I started making a video. I was in my den. I don't know, just wasn't feeling it, so came up here on the roof. Hopefully it's not too windy. All of a sudden, we have a storm coming in. I know, wasn't in the weather forecast. Like, those mean fuck all anymore, right? Just kind of on topic with what I wanted to talk about. I was watching TrueLove's videos this morning, and oh hey, Mr. B, how's it going? Hi there. Oh, I hope you haven't come to just die. Doesn't look well. Nope, there you go. Bye. I was watching TrueLove's videos this morning, and she was just talking about the media's reporting on the hurricanes and the lack of reporting on the earthquake. And did you know that was it yesterday? No, it was the day before yesterday. We had a 5.8 right off the coast in Southern California. Did you hear about it? No. We didn't hear about it in SoCal. Yeah. Because the USGS didn't report it. Yeah. It seems that they don't report quite a lot of earthquakes. Yeah. The fuck's up with that, right? Oh, damn. Oh my god, that's so hot. Oh, that's so hot. Wow. Ooh. Ooh, that's so hot. Wow. Yeah. Burns all the way down. Yeah, they don't, I mean, it's not like, listen, the USGS they don't even talk about how earthquakes are pressure from north to south. I mean, it's obvious that this pressure happens across the realm, but they don't. They just act like it's a great big mystery that, oh, there's a quake there, oh, there's a quake there, oh, there's a quake. The ones they do report, that is. Because they just want people to die in these disasters. But, I'm getting off topic here. There is a dumbing down of disasters. You know, there was so much about Harvey, as there should have been, and Irma, and then you know, if you watch the actual news reports of these events, they're laughable. And listen, I know I'm talking to people who already know this, which is, these news reporters, and I commented on TrueLove's post about this, that my personal favorite, and this is just my personal favorite, was Anderson Cooper out there in his tight fucking t-shirt in the wind and the rain, and he was just reporting, and man, he did not put a raincoat on until the end, because he is not going to deprive us of that tight t-shirt no matter what. I don't care what hurricane is happening, that tight t-shirt these people, it's so fake. Like, they're standing, like TrueLove was saying, standing in knee-deep water, but like 10 feet over, there's no water. Why are they standing in knee-deep water? What the There's this dumbing down of these disasters to where we need to make them a certain way for the sleeping public. We give them to you and then we take them away when we think that it's done. And here's what I mean by that. The second that Irma was no longer interesting and it was no longer going to be a Category 5, people no longer gave a shit. Nobody was interested anymore because it wasn't a major disaster. It wasn't interesting anymore. And now I keep seeing shit. I keep seeing fucking videos, and I swear it's really pissing me off. Hi, Plane. Welcome to the video. Everybody say hi to Plane. Hi, Plane. Say hi to Plane. I know I'm backlit. I know. Thank you for telling me. I know. This is the best spot. I keep seeing videos talking about the solar flares, okay? First of all, all I have seen are sunspots. That's all I've seen. Because solar flares, I've only seen those on NASA videos. I don't believe NASA videos. I don't believe NASA videos. So, I don't believe that there are solar flares. I believe that there are sunspots, and I don't know what they are. I would love to find out what they are. I keep seeing videos saying that the solar flare caused the earthquake in Mexico, and that the solar flare that happened after it is somehow going to cause an earthquake that's going to happen any minute. And this shit pisses me off. Because these are truth channels that are saying this. Shame, shame, shame. Tisk, tisk, tisk. There's no proof of any of this shit, man. What the fuck? What the fuck? There's no proof of solar flares. There is no proof that we don't even know what the sun is, man. Look. Do you know what that is? Do you know what that is? Do you? I see a light. I see a lighty thing over my shoulder. I see a lighty thing. Man, we don't even know what it is. So, you know, this NASA video, these flares and shit, fuck you. Fuck you and your distractions. I don't fall for it. If you want to fall for it and you want to believe that that caused an earthquake, rock on with that. I don't believe that. I just get real disappointed when I see that being pushed in videos on so-called truth channels. It's right up there with when I hear truth channels say, I take stuff at face value. Okay. You rock on with your face value. There is a dumbing down of our disasters. Truthstream Media did a really great story, I believe it came out yesterday, about Hurricane Erin that was targeting New York the day before 9/11. And it was a huge story up until 9/11. And basically it was on target for New York City until a cold front, a magical cold front, came through the night before and pushed it, and it did a magical 180-degree turn. But what was super interesting outside of that, all the magic there, outside of all that magic, what was super interesting was the news reporters. And they break it down really well, so I'm going to try to remember to link it in the description so you can watch it, as well as TrueLove's video that I'm talking about in here, and not talking about well because I'm fucking, y'all know how I am. The news reporters, it was Hurricane Erin, and then the next morning they don't mention it at all. It's like, wow, it's super chilly this morning, and God, you had to put the heater on, and it's like, they don't even mention it. It's just weird. I don't know, there's something, it's all manufactured. Yes, it's all manufactured. It's all man-made. I'm watching a storm move in right now that was not there half hour ago. I mean, this whole storm front back here, this 30 minutes ago was not here. And yes, weather does move in quickly, but Los Angeles isn't like other places. We don't get thunderstorms. Well, we do now. We didn't used to. But now we do. We get them all the time now, apparently. There's something more happening here than just the manufactured weather. And I mean this tied into the media and mass media, films, TV, because when TrueLove had mentioned about going on Netflix and seeing like all of the obvious shit on there about the realm and the disasters, and somebody flushed the toilet at my house, someone flushed the toilet at my house, someone flushed the toilet at my house, do 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 do. I had to go look, and because I haven't been on Netflix in know how long. But I was like, for awake people, and, you know, people who are aware that the earth is flat and, you know, are hip to what's going on here, it's kind of shocking. I have to show this to you guys right now. Hold on. Can you see the birds flying there? So, anyway, I guess what I was trying to say is, these birds are fucking crazy. They're like, I don't know. This is another thing that amazes me, like when birds fly in sync like this, you know? How do they do it? I mean, obviously there is a language, right? Are all animals psychic? Do they all communicate psychically? People say it's instinct, but is that what instinct is? Is instinct just being tapped in and connected to your psychic abilities and the vibration of everyone else? How do they know to fly together like that, you know? When you see 1,000 birds fly in crazy formations and switch around, how do they know to do it? Or schools of fish. Is it instinct? And what does that instinct mean? What does that mean? What is that communication? I don't know. These birds really got me thinking about that now. I don't know, I had to film those. Those were really cool. And it made me really start thinking about psychic communication. Because I truly believe that that is how we are meant to communicate. And I think that that is where we will eventually end up, if we can get to, you know, if we can get to that point. We don't need words. Words actually complicate things if you think about it. The more you say, sometimes the worse it gets. But to be able to just telepathically communicate exactly what, that makes more sense. And I really believe that's what we're all working towards, you know? And, you know, the more... I know for myself personally, throughout my life, the more my gifts have developed, because I've, you know, certain things have just been natural from birth. But the more things develop and become easier, the more unspoken communication becomes sort of natural. My husband and I do it quite a bit, and I can do it with other people around me. It's not like something I just sit and practice doing. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean, where it just happens naturally. But I think that if we were to put our minds to it and actually work at it, that it would be something that would be very easy to do, because I think it's something we're meant to do. I think it's something we're supposed to do. And I think that we could share our emotions and our knowledge and our experience more thoroughly that way. When the first death that I ever had in my family was my grandma Mildred. When I was 9, she and me and my mom had moved in with her and lived with her, and so I helped take care of her while she was dying. I used to go home. I had special permission to go home from school during lunch to give her her medication. And I'm actually the one who found her when she died, and I was really fortunate to have my Uncle Rob, who is super awesome. I think I've mentioned him before. He was crazy hippie Uncle Rob, so awesome. He was there for her funeral, and he took me he took me to this Greek place that we used to go eat. He took me from the funeral, and he took me to explain death to me, which is super awesome. Like, I am forever in debt to him because of that one conversation. And he just shared with me about, you know, the soul and reincarnation, and, you know, I can't remember like word for word what he said, but I remember the gist of what he told me. And I had already been curious about those things. I'd read my grandma's book on world religions, and she had been Buddhist for a while, and so I'd read a couple of her books on Buddhism. I was a super curious kid. I read a lot. Already gone. No, I don't think I had. Hi, Jane. I might have experienced going to church by then, but I don't think so. My stepdad was Irish Catholic, and that was the first time I'd ever been to church, and still have only been, you know, a handful of times in my life. Anyway, my Uncle Rob took me and explained death to me when my grandma died. And that night I had a dream about her. And it was the very first visitation dream that I had. And, you know, I've learned that, you know, visitation dreams are one of the things that, for me, in visitation dreams is that the setting is true to life, meaning that it'll be exactly like, if it's in my house, it'll be exactly like my house, whereas a dream, it'll be kind of like my house but different, or it'll change, you know what I mean? So for me, the setting is always true to life. And we were in our living room, and I was sitting on the couch, and she was standing in front of me across the living room, and she was throwing these bright fluorescent green balls of light at me. She was taking these balls of light and tossing them to me, and when I would catch them, they would go inside my chest. And every time I would catch one, with it came information. And that's all I really could say, is that I knew that with it came stuff, that I knew that in that green ball was information, that she was sharing knowledge with me. And it was years and years later. I guess I was probably 19 at the time. Yeah, probably 19. And I read a book, Robert Monroe, Far Journeys. He did a great deal of work with astral projection. Founded the Monroe Institute, which is still in existence. God, I wish I had my chapstick up here. My lips are so dry right now. I'm dying. I'm dying. Robert Monroe, and he describes in that book an experience where, and I forget the setup, and I don't have the book anymore, because it's one of those instances where I loaned it out and I never got it back, and it's a book I've never been able to replace. But he talks about in that book of sharing information, like when he's in his astral state, of being able to share information with another being. And that's how it's done, with these balls of light, and these balls of energy. And I was like, totally blew my mind. Because I had experienced that, like, many, many years before, in a dream. And I have no idea the point of why I told you that story. No idea. I remember now. Sharing information. That's why. So, if we can do that, you know, and we've all been able to do it. We've all had instances where, you know, we've been able to read someone's mind, or, you know, you've known what someone next to you is thinking, you know, the phone's gonna ring, blah, 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 you fill in the blank. But, you know, when does it get to the next level? When do we take it to the next level where we are communicating? Where we are communicating on completely a level without language. Because, you know, this realm is all about confusion. It's all about the dumbing down of everything. It's all about confusion. And, you know, we know that, you know, words are spells. When do we get to the point where we don't need the words anymore? When does that happen? When does that happen?